A man's accomplishments in life are the cumulative effect of his attention to detail, says John Foster Dulles, an American diplomat. Norman's attention to detail translates to his diligence as a director on boards, having observed this sitting with him on the South African Reserve Bank board. Norman Mbazima is currently the non-executive chairman of Anglo-American Platinum. Norman has a Chartered Accountant South Africa designation. He is a fellow of the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants and of Zambia Institute of Chartered Accountants. Norman is married with 3 children. He speaks several African languages, plays golf, and counts travel and wildlife amongst his leisure interests. Thank you so much, Norman, for making the time.
It's a pleasure. Pleasure entirely.
Because it's very few times in the year that you're on the ground. You're always in the air.
I'm trying to get my feet on the ground now.
I can see that. Yeah, well, thank you so much. So, where were you born? Do you have siblings?
Let me start with the latter, because I got lots of them.
Oh, my gosh.
We were 20 of us.
No, you were not.
We were.
Okay.
A lot of us unfortunately passed on, and I was the 18th of 20.
Oh, my God.
So that's pretty good.
Wow.
But I'm Zambian, Zambian born and bred.
And what are the main languages in Zambia, actually? How many languages do you have?
Zambia's got 7 languages and 73 dialects.
How many of them are official languages? All of them?
Our official language is English.
It's English.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's the common. Yeah, I did enjoy Zambia when I was there. Thank you very much for facilitating some of my introductions. That was really nice. Wow, 20. I'm still getting over that. But moving on.
Yes, moving on.
What were your hobbies before your teen years?
Hobbies? What are those?
Yeah.
No, but seriously, I only had one hobby.
Which was?
Reading.
Wow.
So I was in a very, very rural primary school.
Yeah.
And there was no library. But somehow I found a cupboard in the headmaster's office that had lots of books. And he was kind enough.
It was his books. So
it was the school's books, but it wasn't like a formal library.
Oh, wow.
But he let me into that
Wow.
cupboard. So I used to steal books from there and then put them back and then steal the next one. So that was my hobby in Britain.
This is why you're very good in English. Because even with your minute taking and reviewing, just for any company secretary out there, this is the man.
I think that came from having been a consultant for a while and having had to make loads of reports. And you get to a stage where you want the report, the reader of the report, not to think about the English or whatever, just to think about the actual message that is in the report. And that teaches you to write proper
Instead
English.
of spending time, because it does distract you. You have to keep on correcting somebody as you're reading. Are you a religious or spiritual person?
I'm Catholic. I was kind of baptized Catholic in those early primary days, and I've been Catholic ever since.
Yeah.
A friend of mine said he was Anglican Light, and I suppose you should say Catholic Light as well.
Because I just wanted to ask, how have your religious views, values influenced and impacted your corporate life, if at all?
I don't think much. I don't think... Like I would say, we're going to pray early in the morning before we have our executive committee meeting or anything like that. But at the same time, being a Catholic teaches you certain values, etc., and they find their way into your work somehow, but not overtly.
In terms of just how you live your life and engage with people. Yes. Yeah. I'm always interested in that. What gives your life meaning and purpose? I'm very curious to know.
My family, I think. My big family, not just the nuclear family. Because I care very much about them. I like to see that they're well and things happening with them, and where I can help in one way or the other, I'd like to be there for them. And I think that gives me meaning.
Yeah. And your 3 kids who you love to bits, I'm sure.
Yes, of course. my 3 grown-up kids.
Yeah, they're
Yes.
now grown-up kids. Doing quite well, actually, in terms of their studies and pursuit of...
Yeah. My eldest daughter just got a PhD. I'm
it's
very,
just
very
amazing.
proud of her. My son, who comes after Nandi, is starting up a business, and all the problems the growing business is grappling with. And my third, Grace, she's just something else.
Yeah.
She's flying.
Full of grace.
Correct.
What is the one decision you wish you had never made in life, whether it's personal or professional, and why?
I think I'm crazy that way, Dudu. I try not to have regrets. You learn from mistakes, if you like, and move on, and not sort of sit and worry about, I could have done this, I could have done this. So I cannot think of anything big that I say, ooh, I wish I'd done something different. I've often thought, was accounting the right career for me? Should I have been a lawyer or a few of the other things that I enjoyed doing? And I say, hey, I'm where I am, and it happened, and it's cool.
And it turned out well for you, actually.
It turned out quite well. I'm not unhappy.
You're not unhappy at all. What do you believe is your greatest strength, and how has it shaped the life choices thus far?
I think the one thing that's been a thread throughout my life and my career has been people. The care of people, the understanding of people, the interaction with people, and that's the one thing that I think makes you progress or regress or whatever it is that you're doing. People. Yeah. And that's my favorite thing.
Which is interesting as a chartered accountant. That is something...
They like figures, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I like people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. You have held and still hold leadership positions in the mining industry. What attracted you to this industry?
I'm not sure that I got attracted to the mining industry. I think it attracted me somehow because Zambia is a mining jurisdiction. The mining industry in Zambia sent me to tertiary education, which then said I must work for them, which I did. Then when I was in the accounting profession, most of my work was in the mining industry. And finally, the industry came to look for me to work for it directly, and here I am.
So it was pursuing you all along.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but it's been good to you as well.
It's been very good to me.
So when you were then offered the opportunity to be the CEO of Kumba Iron Ore, what in your character and skills made you know that you can do it?
So Kumba wasn't my first CEO position.
Yeah.
My first CEO position was at Anglo-American Platinum. And then I moved to Scomet as a CEO, and then I went to Thermocoal as CEO, and then I went to Kumba as CEO. So I suppose people must have said, oh, he didn't do too badly there, and there. Maybe if he goes there, he would do well. Kumba also had some specific commercial and legal problems that people thought I was good at resolving, that needed resolving at the time. And we did resolve those, but they had a lot more technical problems, which I enjoyed resolving. So, but this thing about wherever you're going, there's people.
Yeah.
And they have their own way of doing things. And if you can work with them and build them into a team and have a goal that you're working together, whatever it is you're doing, you can succeed at.
Yeah. I think it's the second time I hear legal. You still have that thing, hey?
I enjoyed my legal studies in tertiary, and I enjoyed corporate law. And even when I was studying, I was doing crazy legal thing like divorce law or jurisprudence or issues of that ilk that you don't really need when you're doing accounting and so forth. I enjoyed doing it. So law was something that I probably have done if I hadn't done accounting.
Yeah, but it's still a part of you, I suppose.
It is.
What belief or habit did you have to unlearn as a corporate leader to be effective? And what was the process to achieve your transformation?
I don't know whether it was unlearning it. But when you're working with people for all the time, you get to learn that people assume certain things, or if you're like me and you smile a lot and you laugh a lot, etc., people think you're soft, for example. And that was a big lesson for me. That in the end, people have to understand that when we have to do work, we have to do the work. And if you have to be hard on somebody or whatever, you will do it, because that is the requirement of what you're doing. And that, I think I had to learn. To say, don't let people take you for granted because you smile and laugh and so forth. They need to learn that you're a leader and you're trying to get somewhere with them.
It is amazing how people think it's either if you are a kind, nice person, then the assumption is that you're also competent, which is not always the case. Or if you are a kind person, that you're not a strong leader, which is like...
Which is not true. It just isn't. Yes.
We could do with more pleasant leaders, but still get the job done. But I totally get what you're saying about that. How did you align long-term sustainability goals with short-term profitability demands as a CEO in your role?
This is something I've encountered a lot. The notion that when you are chasing financial goals, when you're chasing profits, it means that you are ignoring everything else. You are ignoring people. You are ignoring the environment. You are ignoring this. And I had to reconcile it like this. Your job is to make money for the shareholders because they pay you for doing so. But they don't want you to do it for just 1 year. They want you to do it for many, many years consistently. And if you're going to do that, you will not be able to do it unless you take care of people, unless you take care of the environment, unless you take care of the country and so forth. So you have to manage all these other things and manage them well in order for you to make money for the shareholders.
So you're already an integrated thinker even then?
Yes.
It helps when you're a CEO because and really also a CA, because somehow when non-CAs advance those things, we look like we don't take business seriously.
Absolutely. People think that, remember, you just have to make money for the shareholders consistently. And remember, the shareholders are not just some greedy financial people. It's people who are pensioners, people who have insurance policies, people like you and I, and our kids go to school, etc., etc. Those are the ultimate shareholders that you need to give a return to. And they deserve a return. And so it's just important to remember that you've got to manage all these other things and manage them well in order to deliver on your first
I like that.
Objective.
I really like it. There should be a module to encourage that. What is the one most significant lesson you have learned about how to manage stakeholder relationships most effectively in South Africa, particularly? The government, communities, and investors, because especially in mining, those stakeholders are quite critical.
One word, authentic. People have to believe that what you're saying to them is what you actually believe, okay? That what you're saying to them is the truth. That you won't be changing your story every other day. And it doesn't matter whether it's government, whether it's employees, whether it's communities. They have to believe that what you're telling them is the truth. And even if it's unpalatable, that it is the truth. And you're not doing it just because you want to be spiteful to them or you're a bad person or whatever, but this is it. This is what we must do, and this is why we must do it. And if they believe that, then you can make some progress.
So it's kind of like taking people into your confidences, that this is the situation.
Correct.
Because I think most of the time we try and be secretive around these things, and people can already suss out things, you know?
People are not stupid. Yes, people do know, and people do feel that, hey, there's something wrong here, and this Norman, is he telling the truth or not? Let's check him out, etc., etc. It's said to a minister that, I would like to come here and say, here's a here's a blue cup, and let's talk about the contents, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Half the time, people will be saying, no, but this is Norman. Is this a cup? And is it blue?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so forth. I said, no. If we can get to a stage where I say, this is a blue cup, then we can make progress on the rest. Because
you have a common fact.
Yes, there's that feeling of trust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're starting to remind me of the debates around fake news.
Okay.
As a former executive in the mining industry and now a non-executive chairman of Anglo-American Platinum Limited, how do geopolitical and economic factors influence your strategic planning?
The mining industry is like that. Usually you are selling a commodity, and the commodity you are selling, you can sell it anywhere in the world, and you do sell it anywhere in the world. So at Kumba that you're asking for, our biggest clients were in China, and at Platinum we were talking about Japan, and we were talking about Europe, etc. So most of our customers are based in all over the world. So what happens to them, what they think, how they feel about their politicians, how they feel about the people that govern them, how they are governed, has a major effect both on your relationship with them and on prices. And so geopolitics is extremely important in the mining industry. Very important.
Can't just be like
No, you can't. You can sit here in South Africa, or you can sit here in Chile, or in whatever country we were producing, and worry about the things. But those things in that country are to do with production. They're not to do with logistics and sales and so on and so forth, and prices. So you have to worry about what's happening around the world. What's the geopolitics doing?
And I always wonder when, especially big corporates, usually have a lot of specialists in-house. And a lot of experts and research. And they tend not to always go out and get independent thinkers. Do you think in that process, when you have to, because you will have an in-house view, wouldn't you?
You would. Even putting prices together in your strategy. What's the price of platinum or iron ore is going to be, etc. You have experts that look at all the projects, look at all the productions, look at all what's happening to buildings and construction, and therefore how much steel will be required, and therefore how much iron ore will be required, those kind of things. You then need to talk to other people and say, what do you think?
From outside, just to get
outside and triangulate what you're hearing. Yeah. Always very useful.
Yeah. There is a leading CEO who I will not name, who had distrust of external views like consultants, which I thought was an interesting perspective. It was really a very inwardly looking company. And I thought, how is he thinking he's going to...
You missed something. Yeah. There's no doubt at all in my mind that you always need the internal experts. But to triangulate it means when there's a big difference, you got to ask yourself, why? Why is there this difference? You could miss something big in that.
Yeah.
So if you are curious enough to ask why is there such a big difference between the internal and the external view, you find something that will help you in your strategy to go forward.
That's a lesson 101, strategist. Name one key trend shaping the future of mining, and how would you advise current leaders to adapt?
Climate change. I think for us in the mining industry, climate change is big. Climate change affects how we will continue to produce what we produce. It affects how what we produce is going to be used into the future, so what the demand is going to be and where it's going to go. It affects how our employees will get to work in 10 years' time, and whether they'll be comfortable working for us or not. And it affects everything that we do. And I think climate change is something that, fortunately, the mining industry has been paying attention to, but none of us have the ideas yet, have the solutions yet. We still got to work at it and enhance our solutions and be able to be sustainable within the changing climate.
Yeah. So ESG is the conversation in every board meeting.
It is a big conversation for us. If you take the PGM industry, for example, people think that the demand is dying because of battery electric vehicles. And then we say, yeah, something's going to happen. What about the hydrogen economy, which is a new economy? How much demand is going to come for PGMs from that and so forth? So there's always these discussions that we must put together in order to inform our strategy.
No wonder you've been very engrossed in this industry. It's not as boring as it may look, I think.
It's not boring at all.
Yay. From the outside, you may think mining, but it seems like it's a lot of stuff. Yeah. Do you see the safety issues in mining as ethical considerations?
Ethical is a difficult word. I'm not sure about that. It's a human thing. If like some of us, you had to deal with fatalities in the industry, in your own mind, you get to know that it's just about the worst thing that could happen to you in your career. The emotional issues of the family, etc., are probably the worst of that. But the economic issues, probably the person that died was the breadwinner, and you got to think about what we do with that. The work issues, what are the colleagues thinking about what's happening? Production is disrupted greatly. So nothing good comes of it, not a single thing. And so you have to do everything you can to limit and eliminate fatalities for that reason.
Yeah. I remember one time, is it Cynthia Carroll?
Yes.
Who was quite a champion for
she was great.
Zero
she was
tolerance.
Really, really, really good at championing, saying, because I think there was a feeling that, oh no, mining is very dangerous when you go down and, you eventually somebody is bound to die. But to change that mindset, to say nobody should come to work with a mindset that says I could die. Nobody in the whole company should have this view that death is inevitable in a mine.
Yeah.
If you really change that mindset, everything else starts to change.
Yeah.
Everything else.
I hope she knows that even though, in South Africa it wasn't a long turner, she'd really made an impact, because that for us kind of showed the humanity. She brought humanity into mining, really somebody I admire. If you could go back in time and give your younger self, whatever age, one piece of advice that would have made your journey less challenging, I don't know how challenging it has been, what will it be?
It has been challenging.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, there are lots of things that were challenging, but one thing that stands out and says you must think about this is we go back to that issue about people. And you can go back to issues about race, for example. Race is very challenging in our industry. And you got to say you have to be measured, you have to be deliberate, you have to be logical, you have to really think about how the various people interact for you to be successful in the mining industry.
Yeah.
When I came to South Africa, I said, okay, one race goes to Ellis Park to play rugby. The other one goes to FNB Stadium. And of course, there's Wanderers at cricket.
Yeah.
But they all need to work together
to
make our mining successful and enjoyable.
Yeah.
And so this issue about people and how they interact and to be aware, to be deliberate, to be mindful about it is the one lesson that I would have taught myself back then.
Yeah. Is it because I think we've grown up in this environment, when you come and see the focus on race the way it is it like, what does it do to someone who has to lead us in this environment?
I think in South Africa, the focus is sharp on race. In Zambia, where I grew up, it is not as sharp. I suppose it's because of different histories and that. But people are people, and people have their own culture. You have your own culture, I have mine. You have your own food, I have mine. And if you just learn about people and what they're doing, and what makes them tick, you can find the things that put us together, that they're significantly more than the things that divide us. And if you can find those, then you can work together and achieve some great things.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what country you're in.
Yeah, it doesn't. What is the most difficult conversation you've ever had with someone who reported to you?
Guess. Firing people.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
And the wisdom you like to share in terms of how to navigate that?
There's a friend of mine. When you publish this, I'll send it to this friend of mine who said to me, Norman, if I ever get fired, I would like to ask them to get you to fire me, or something like that.
Oh, so you fired him and he still managed to...
You fire people in that authentic thing I was talking about.
Yeah.
So people understand why are they being fired, understand and almost accept that if I was in his position, I probably would have fired me. You see what I mean? But it's a difficult thing to do. It's a very difficult thing to do. It's very, especially when it's retrenchments and things like that. This is a person who wasn't expecting to stop working, who has a family, the family still has to be fed, etc., etc. It's a complete dislocation for them. And you have to be the person to tell them this is going to happen and this is why. So that's not easy.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. I must say, the first experience, I was a young executive. I think I was 28. My first experience of having to retrench. It traumatized me.
Yeah.
And this is why even my consulting firm, the business model, worked associates. It changed the way I saw the world. It's a difficult conversation.
It's a very, very difficult conversation.
Wow.
Probably, that's the most difficult conversation. The other difficult conversation is having to tell your family that your loved one passed away in a mine.
Oh, my gosh.
That's extremely difficult conversation.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, to tell them they're not coming home.
Correct.
No, it's a lot. Do you believe it's possible to be a celebrated and admired CEO and a successful and present father in the eyes of your children simultaneously?
Yes. Yes, indeed it is. It's all about time in the end. It's all, and probably less about time than about what your kids know and feel and think when they think about you. Do they think, oh, his dad is gone off to work again, we'll not see him for another two weeks, or is that, he has to do this because he has to provide that for us and so on and so forth. And when he comes, he'll bring some goodies and he'll call and if there's a really, 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 really big thing like a graduation, he'll be there no matter what's happening. If they know that, then I think you can reconcile the two. If they just think about the negative, about, oh, he's not here and he cares more about his work than he cares about us, then you've lost it. But it can be done.
Yeah, so it's about communicating and making sure that...
Absolutely.
I totally get that. Because my mother also, I always say, even if she was not always present, when it counted, she was there.
She was there.
Yeah.
And in a way, she was always present, even when she wasn't present, if you see what I mean.
Physically, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. What was your travel that that beautiful travel experience you will share now? Yeah. What did it teach you about humanity? The last one that you went on, which you will expand on.
The bucket list when I retired, and the last thing on that bucket list was for Lillian and I to go to East Africa, to Kenya and Tanzania, to be precise, to see wildlife.
Yeah, the migration.
It was fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic, that migration, and so on. We learned so many lessons, but we enjoyed it immensely. Just to see millions and millions of wildebeest moving, and it's just a life-changing experience for us.
But in terms of when you observe that, what did you think about humanity in general?
There's a lot. I mean, one of the interesting things is that these wildebeest are mass on the other side of the river, and they increase into hundreds, into thousands, into tens of thousands, and they will not cross that river. And the tension kind of picks up, and what's going to happen? Then one decides to cross. And when that one wildebeest crosses, every wildebeest crosses, every single one. There will be zero left on the other side. And you say, why is that?
Yeah.
What were they waiting for?
Yeah. What did they wait for?
Is it a blind following of leadership? Or is it something else? I still don't know what the answer is. But clearly, A, they all want to be on the other side. B, they're a bit scared about crocodiles and things like that or drowning, and many of them are killed, and many of them drown so they're a bit scared of that. So you gotta get enough courage in the heart to say, this is the right thing to do, let's go and do it. And that one wildebeest does it.
And we need that too. We just need one.
Yes.
And hopefully they're making the right decision. What book would you recommend to our audience at the moment?
I read a lot of Malcolm Gladwell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love him too.
I think he's fantastic because he joins the dots, of things that you might think they're disparate. They're quite different. And he makes meaning out of those.
Yeah.
And it's all about psychology and how people think and how people behave and how they feel. And, I read all his books.
Anything. Malcolm Gladwell, you have a fan. In an interview in 2016, you said the person you'd like to meet most is the Pope. Is that still the case?
No. Because I met him. Yes, that's right.
Off the list.
He's off the list. I had an official trip to the Vatican to go and meet with some of the cardinals there. We were talking about interrelationship between the mining industry and communities, and the faith-based organization, and the Roman Catholic Church in particular, has been wonderful at bringing down some of the tension between that and bringing value to both sides by doing that. So that's what we went to see the Pope about. It was very nice.
Okay. I wonder what's next on your bucket list. What legacy do you hope you are leaving behind through the activities and the roles that you are taking on in this life?
It's this legacy of humanity. I keep going back to this human thing, and sometimes I don't think I've given back enough to the countries that have given me so much, and so much, and so forth. So this. Wherever you get to in life is because other people helped you. Some people lifted you, and whether it's the countries or what, they helped you in one way or the other, and they helped you whether they liked it or not in some instances.
Yeah.
So you have something that says, think about humanity all the time, and see what you can do. The only thing, I do a lot of stuff like that, but I'm doing something about malaria, and I love it because people die every single day of a disease that doesn't need to exist. So just to think about things like that and say, this is something we could leave the world with, a world that doesn't have malaria.
Yeah.
But that's just an example of what you need to do. It's that humanity thing.
Yeah. We can chat forever, but we need to close.
We do?
We do.
Oh, okay. If you say so.
What wisdom would you leave us with? What would you like our audience to ponder about?
We've been talking about careers and about leadership and about being an executive and about so forth. We spoke about the profit motive. And it's an important motive. It's a good motive to follow. Only, if you remember, you can only do so if you think about all the other things, if you think about the good that your company can do and how that makes it able to do profits for decades and maybe centuries to come. I urge people to always think about that and not to think about these things as antagonistic. So just think about that into the future.
Because they all for our benefits in the long term.
In the long term, all of it is for our benefits. There are unions that we used to fight with that used to say, you guys put profit before people. It's a question I say. But if we don't have people, we don't have profit. So we need each other. We must make sure that those kind of things work.
This has been an interesting one. Thank you so much. Really.
My pleasure.
I'm very grateful for this time of the year where you are slowing down. Slowing down long enough for me to have you at our table. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. And good luck with the rest.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Another beautiful end to a wise conversation. Hope you have enjoyed this wisdom as I have. Until the next episode of Wisdom Personified, Conversations with Dudu Msomi. Be compassionate, productive, and live consciously. Thank you for making time for this episode of Wisdom Personified, Conversations with Dudu Msomi. Please like and subscribe to our channel. Click on the bell notification to be informed when our next episode is available. Wisdom Personified, Conversations with Dudu Msomi is also now available on Facebook Watch, Apple and Google Podcasts, as well as Spotify. Enjoy the wisdom journey.